On Thursday the 7th of June 2007, most people in Newcastle and the Hunter were looking forward to a relaxing long weekend, planning a few days off. As you now know, it was anything but a relaxing long weekend. I'm Carol Duncan from 1233 ABC Newcastle, and like most people in the Newcastle and Hunter region, I will never forget the weekend when storms and floods closed down the heart of Newcastle. The Pasha Bolka went aground on Nobby's Beach, and the levee system around Maitland was pushed to its limit. Over the 4 days of the storms and flooding, I, like my colleagues here at 1233, kept you company around the clock. We talked with you, on air and off air. We kept you up to date with vital information, and we shared your experiences. On Thursday night, the Bureau of Meteorology warned of potential extreme weather conditions with a low-pressure cell developing just north of Newcastle. Over the next 12 hours, this low generated gale-force southeasterlies that buffeted the city until midday on Friday, redeveloping in the middle of the afternoon as a line of thunderstorms that ceaselessly battered Newcastle throughout the evening, causing life-threatening flash flooding in low-lying areas. This is the story of the June long weekend storm. The voices are yours, and the images are the ones that you shared with us.
There's no point people trying to drive to Newcastle East to see anything. It's completely counterproductive, and people are driving around without their lights on in the heavy rain and hail. It's very hazardous. If anyone's listening in the car and you have to be in the car, turn
Stay
your
out of the
lights on
city
and go home as soon as you can. Be
Yeah.
my advice.
About 9,000 homes and businesses are without power across the Lower Hunter due to the wild weather bringing down trees and power lines. The SES has received more than 80 calls for help this morning. The wet weather and debris is causing havoc on the roads, and police are urging motorists to drive to the conditions.
Yeah, and there's power lines whipping around on the ground. There's police and fire stations there, but you can't get through at all.
The buses are pulling up as we speak and taking students, those that are on the Muswellbrook bus, Aberdeen, Rookel, Gundy, Bunnan, Broadboy buses. They'll be heading off home early today because of the low-level flooding and some of the concerns.
We have power lines down on Floraville.
Apparently the A-block roof has collapsed, the buses have been sent and all the kids have been sent home.
No injuries that you know of?
No, apparently everybody's fine. It's a bit chaotic down there.
Okay.
My husband's just had to piggyback me out of the golf club because all the water was coming in.
From the New South Wales Department of Education and Training, they are advising parents that as a precaution and due to the adverse weather conditions, Central Coast, Lake Macquarie, Newcastle, Lower and Upper Hunter students should be collected from schools and TAFE colleges if at all possible. That is, all schools.
There's a severe weather warning in place for flash flooding and dangerous surf and hazardous winds, a gale warning for coastal waters and a sheep grazier's warning.
There are currently 11,000 homes estimated to be without electricity in our area.
The New South Wales Premier Maurice Yemma has declared a natural disaster for the state's Hunter and Central Coast regions as the search continues for as many as 11 people missing in the storms.
The declaration comes after 24 hours of severe storms which brought gale-force winds and flooding hit hardest on the Central Coast and in the Hunter region.
Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock the State Emergency Committee is meeting, and we'll be obtaining reports overnight and into the morning of how the situation is.
The Bureau of Meteorology forecast that we get some average wind strengths of around about 65 kilometres this evening, but with wind gusts up to around about 90 kilometres an hour. So we do expect that there will be some tree damage out there as well, with some fallen trees, as well as the flash flooding.
Lots of stories about boats getting washed off, coming off their moorings. It's just amazing. The lake is almost level to the jetties, and it's like a beach, not like a lake at all.
Underwater is urging Toronto residents to conserve water, with fears the area could shortly run out of supplies.
We've been watching the reservoir levels during the day. Unfortunately, the power isn't back on.
Please heed those warnings. Do not head outside your house if you are in a warm and safe place. You are a long way in front of a lot of other people who have been evacuated here this evening, who have had houses inundated, who have had to abandon cars in the middle of busy roads here in the Hunter.
And as residents moved around, there was the risk of being caught in floodwaters. Underground car parks became swimming pools, and stormwater drains swirling torrents.
Are you right in the township of Dungog?
Yes, right in the township. School has been closed,
yes,
and there are no buses going in or out.
A lot of flooding on the roads between Bulladila and Raymond Terrace. Do slow down in the area. A fallen tree on the Hexham Bridge affecting traffic northbound. The New England Highway from Singleton into Branxton is flooded. Water is so deep, police have just blocked the road. Don't risk it.
And there's flooding across Aberglasson Road as well, so there's actually a person in a car and they're just trying to get them out now. Just backed the rescue truck down and it looks like they're putting them on that.
Emergency crews are responding to reports that an elderly couple is missing after a car was washed off a bridge at Clarencetown in the Hunter Valley.
The hold up on the Minmay Road at Maryland, 2 young children have been washed away and the road is completely blocked off. Quite a few police are out here now.
My son flew back from Melbourne today, and it was a beautiful day in Melbourne, he said, and he couldn't grasp the gravity of what was happening up here, and he was just appalled when they started their descent from Sydney.
Well, at the moment we're up on the top of the range north of Murrurundi on the New England Highway, and we're stopped because the snow's that thick we cannot go any further. We've lost traction. We've just come to a standstill.
Andrew, you're putting your hand on your heart, you're looking me in the eye down the radio lines and you're telling me that it is snowing in the Upper Hunter region.
The snow would have to be at least 2 inches deep at the moment. I've never seen anything like it.